Hi there, I'm Matt Keene. Welcome to Creating a Future We Want, the Bound Home series. So, Bound Home, where this is a Bound Home is a sculpture. This is where I say just a little bit about what's going on. There are many facets to this this work, this concept, and today wanted to mention constellations, sort of this the combination of utility and vision. So, utility and imagination, the practical and the imaginative, the creative and the pragmatic, perhaps. These things that may be interdependent pairs, not mutually exclusive necessarily, but we often do see some friction, some friction or differences of perspective depending on which side of that we find ourselves more often. Now, I don't know much about astrology and horoscopes and things. I always think it's kind of fun to read my horoscope. Usually says something about, I should meditate more or something like that. And I'm like, well, that's probably true. And this project, one component of this is we've embedded the stars of various constellations in a concrete wall surrounding a home. So Bound Home is very much about these combinations of interdependent pairs in relationship to our sense and our concept of home. So here, with a constellation, and this is sort of the bottom part of Scorpius. I'm just looking at my drawings here and see that this star is called Shaula. That is HR 6630, and that's 13 times the size of our sun. That star is. This star here is 115 times the size of our sun, and 1,791 light years away. This one is not that far away. And each star having a different name, and some of these star names, there are multiple common names in different cultures for the star, and then there's an objective scientific name, so scientists can discuss they're talking about the same thing, which makes some sense, I guess. I also find it fascinating, right? The notion of a constellation being something that at one point you can think, my notion of that is people associating like their birthday with a constellation or a sign with a constellation. And the myth and mystery and interest and enjoyment and curiosity and derision that is, drawn to that concept. The belief, the faith, the disbelief, notions of truth. And then we have on the other side of things that constellations are an objective truth, where they have been used for millennia to wayfind, to navigate, to go from one place to another. The most, perhaps, practical, immediate, direct application. I want to go from A to B, please. And using the stars, those same constellations, to find one's way from one place to another, and navigate through challenging or placid waters. So, I love that combination of what is very practical about a constellation and its use, and also the notion of the imagination and creativity. And I find that this applies so much to a concept of home as well. It's something that, literally keeps water off your head when it rains, and loud water over here. Might need to tone that down a little bit. And provides this practical, objective truth, this structure to live within, and live with and repair. And it also, at the same time, this place where we are bound to and bound with is also full of the creativity and the mystery and the myth and the emotion that is conjured and created and hosted, held by a notion of home. So I think that we see a number of truths that are represented here in this concept of, or this is my intention anyway, of a constellation, which this one is my wife's constellation, Scorpius. And then that wall over there is Gemini. And then the front is Aquarius, one of my daughters, and the other is Aries. So the stars, primary stars of each of those constellations are put into the wall, and their relative positions roughly mimic the positions of those stars as we see them in 2 dimensions from Earth looking up. So I'm Matt Keene. Thanks for visiting Creating a Future We Want, the Bound Home series. What is your vision for your relationship with the mystery and the practicality of home?